Getting it, getting after it. Look at him go. Getting it. Tearing off. Little Mad Max action go. Gladiator Fabrication here. Been broke since day one. What's really good, bro? We're here at the Slideways Showdown, okay, here at Lorraine Speedway, and we're trying to make some new friends. What is your name, my guy?
My name is Corey Pratt, my man, good sir.
Oh, yes. Now, are you a driver? Are you just here to kick it, or what is your position here?
Currently, I'm not a driver, but I do have a car, but I'm here to kick it and have a good time until I get my car back and stretch some tires, man.
That's dope, dude. That's dope. Now, what car do you have? Like, what's your setup right now?
I have a 95 318 E36 with a Garrett G25 550 turbo and injector dynamic injectors, and makes 420 to the wheel and 366 torque. And it's 1.8 liter and weighs 2,500 pounds, but she gets down. She's a little party animal.
What do you do for a living, brother?
I'm a CNC programmer and a millwright, yeah.
I'm a welder.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, tight. For people that aren't in the scene, getting into something like motorsports might be a little challenging if you're not already hip. What are some universal life hacks for people that like aren't into engineering or STEM programs? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That want to get into this. I kind of feel like the same vibe of like BattleBots when I'm here. There's like a very real like art style here.
Yeah.
And there's also engineering practice going on. So what do you think, like people that are not hip to the scene should do if they want to get down with drifting?
So if people want to get into it, all I got to say is do research and take your time. And just like if you want a race car, you want a drift car, it's not going to happen overnight. But you can get it, you can achieve it, you can have a Pro-Am car, you can do what you need to do. It's going to cost money, but you got to put the time in to actually, the time, the work, and the effort to be able to get to where you want to be, to be able to get to that point. You know what I mean? So all it is, at the end of the day, is research and surrounding yourself with good people and getting yourself in a good community and just going out, having fun, not getting frustrated, and just taking it as a learning experience. Like if you spin out or if you fail, just take that as a learning experience and just like make your car more dialed and more better and come out and shred tires and have fun with your homies.
That's what's up, dude. That's what I was feeling too, man. Now, outside of the world of drifting, I grew up skateboarding. I skateboard all the time. Yeah. Oh, you do skate too? What are some similarities for people that aren't hip to like action sports, I guess? You know what I mean? How would we, because I guess skateboarding now is somewhat normal because of the Olympics, you know? How does this replicate or like mirror skateboarding?
So like with skateboarding, it's like an
I'm gonna move out of their way real quick.
We don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
But like skateboarding, you know what I mean? Everything is an art form. At the end of the day, everything you can break down to me is like an art. I love this type of whatever I'm doing. I'm gonna apply myself and like make it my own. You know what I mean? So you can take like skateboarding or drifting or like what I do with machining. Like I want to make a beautiful part that like I'm proud to put my name on at the end of the day and send it to a company and be like, yeah, I made that and it's perfect. You know what I mean? So it's like just applying yourself and just wanting to be involved, you know what I mean, and bettering yourself and bettering the community, and you know what I mean, just getting out there and doing it, you know.
How would you compare the culture or art aesthetic, if you will, of drifting versus drag racing? Because out here, for those of you that are not hip to where we are all in Ohio right now. We are not in Florida. This is not a California thing either.
Cars. We have rusty cars.
Yeah, we are in the Rust Belt. We'll get into that. That'll be a question for you. Yeah. But how do you think this would compare to what would typically happen at like a at a drag racing track?
So with drag racing, you know what I mean, at that point you have a purpose-built car. Like at that point you have like almost like a tube chassis to where it's like you're putting new parts on, you're getting like a strip shell. But with drifting you're getting, excuse my language, a shit box, you know what I mean? It's rusty. You got to crank off all these broken bolts, put the PB blaster on and get everything knocked loose. But once you get everything knocked loose, everything becomes solid or like loose again. Like not loose, but like it's easier to take off the next time you got to repair the car, you know?
Right.
But it's all easy, man. Like you just got to take your time and just like you can't just think about it like it's going to happen overnight, and just take your time with it, man.
Right on. Definitely a level of persistence. Brings me to my next one. If you're trying to do this sort of thing and you do live in the Midwest, you also know why people don't do this. Yeah. And that is because the vehicles that we find on Marketplace are completely thrashed, bro. Okay, so again, like that's why I'm a welder. That's how I got into welding. I'm like, I'm going to drift, dude. because like out of utility I should know how to do this. All right, and every whip I come across, like stock, like from Craigslist, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, body work is done.
Everything has potential. Everything has potential. Like my first car was $300. It was floors were gone. I didn't have a title. I found the title. Blah blah blah. Years later, it makes 400 horsepower and it slides with any single car that I can keep up with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They start to the trade. I would say that like the trades and the practices that you learn through trying to pursue drifting, that might even give you a career path.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't, I don't know, have your passion, you know what I'm saying, or like purpose identified.
Yeah.
For me, dude, straight up, I was like, nah, I'm drifting and I'm skating. I just need to figure out how to get paid. I'm like, oh, well, I need to weld to drift.
Yep.
So that kind of handles itself.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Like my grandfather, he was a machinist for 42 years, and he got me into like machining and making parts. And a couple years ago, when I was redoing a turbo swap on my car, I did a custom intake manifold and CNC'd out custom adapter plates for a Vibrant 3-inch elbow with the Crown Vic throttle body and repurposed the TPS sensor.
That's sick.
Yep, and it all worked out and everything came together, and it's all. At the end of the day, nobody else has that intake manifold on an M42 or any other BMW in that instance. So it's like that's a one of a kind car to me.
Right.
And that's my art piece, you know.
That's what I've been trying to like show people. I'm like, just because it's not like in the MoMA, you know what I'm saying, does not mean that it's not art. You know, like if you can come with me real quick, don't. Yep. People that are not typically hip to like how things are designed or engineered need to know that like this is not from factory. You know what I mean? Like there were many nights of homies sweating over this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like to the appreciation, I suppose, is like what I'm trying to say there.
This is actually my buddy Rick, and he lived with me for 6+ years. This thing lived with my garage. I helped change axles, do not everything with this car, but I've been along with this car for the road, and I've seen it from stock to where it is now, and it is an inspiration story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like financially, metaphysically, literally. Okay. And then that's the other thing too. It's like I most definitely went broke more than once trying to chase the dream, bro. Okay. So I'm like, all right, attempt number 5 with this.
But at least,
you know what I mean? I learned something though.
But at least you're trying, and you didn't give up. You know. Right.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. Even if you try and fail, at least you tried.
Yeah.
Exactly. My next question for you, bro. How long in general have you been drifting?
I've been drifting since I got my car was in 2017, and I hit a couple drift events with Club Loose 2. I learned how to drive the car, and then I threw power at it, and then after I threw power at it and I knew how to drive, I got A group, started tandeming, and sky's the limit, man.
Is that hard? It looks dope, but is it exponentially more difficult than just sliding by yourself, doing tandem runs?
Leading is no problem, because if you can run a solo run by yourself and run your line, it's not bad. But chasing, all you got to do is really like trust your lead driver and like know how they're going to act, and just like if you feel confident getting on the door, get on their door. If you guys have laps, you know what I mean? The more experience and the more seat time you guys have together, the better you guys are going to be at the end of the day.
Okay, so from your perspective, it's purely a ability level sort of thing. Now, at what point do you think it would be a horsepower or like a technical, you know what I'm saying, like a technical battle over the two vehicles that are running in tandem?
In that point, it's only really up to competitions with like technicalities between cars. But if it's like a little local event like this, like local homies are running with each other, everybody's around the same horsepower, so everybody's kept in the same, bracket, you know? Right. But besides the horsepower, it's just everybody, it's all in like tire size and like grip factor, you know? Like my car can have 400, his can have 800, but as long as we have the same tire, we're pretty much keeping at the same drifting speed. It's all about wheel speed. Yeah.
I see.
Yep.
I see. Can you explain to the people that, again, aren't hip to drifting, clutch kicking versus maybe just ripping the e-brake on something? So, like, for people that don't even understand, like, manual transmission slang, because nobody really drives that, you know, what is clutch kicking?
So clutch kicking is when you're going into a turn and you put the clutch in all the way, you rev the car, and then you suddenly release the clutch. And then what that does, it just shocks the drive line to kick the tires out to basically do a burnout, and you counter steer into that to drive through the turn. As when you're counter steering, that's considered drifting.
There you go. There you go. And then, like, I would relate that to skating. Anybody out there that is skating and is over 30 years old, all right. Power sliding is essentially, you know what I mean? Like what's going on? Or, like, I would even compare this to, like, almost like dirt track.
Yeah.
You know? Because those guys around every corner, they don't even consider it, like, cool or anything. It's like, yeah, no, dude, you just sort of lay on the throttle around the corner. I'm like, no, so you're drifting, right? So the only difference is that we're remaining on the asphalt as opposed to a dirt surface, you know.
And another thing you can relate this with skating is weight transfer. When you're like carving in a bowl, or you need to do like street stuff, you need to transfer your weight to like go from an ollie to a nose grind or something. You have to, like with a car, you have to be able to, like with the transition, you have to be able to pitch that weight to be able to transfer the weight to the front end so you get all the grip.
And let it whittle or like flick it. The term of like flicking it, you know what I mean? You want to almost get the body roll of your vehicle,
yes,
right?
Sure.
Like over your central axis, so the rest of your chassis can sort of just push it out of the way there. There's somebody over here with a Beamer wagon. I've been meaning to talk to him.
That is my buddy Kyle.
That's sick. Okay, so with that, how are they doing that? Do they have a stiffer suspension in the back?
With that, in particularly, he bought a set of coilovers, and the coilovers had a too soft of a spring rate for the rear. So he bought a set of Swift coils for the rear, cut those, and it's a stiffer spring rate, so it makes the car stiffer. And I think he has extended lower control arms in the front. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But he has a turbo M52, and it makes X amount of horsepower. I'm pretty sure it's over 300. But it's a wagon. It gets down. It's got a lock diff. What else do you want for a cool car, man? Like, you can put freaking 6 people in the thing and go have a party.
Right. Earlier, before we turned the cameras on, I saw they DB'd it, dude. Their tire came all the way off. So was it overinflated? I didn't actually see it as it happened. I saw them when they came back to the pits. Can you explain what had happened there?
So actually, I was in that car when that happened. Jerry was driving Kyle Hudson with the guy with the wagon. Yeah, he was driving his girlfriend's car, and he was trying to show her, like, yeah, you can drift this thing. And basically, he chucked it in a little bit too hot, went off track, hit a little divot, DB'd the tire. We were just like, oh, that's game over. Let's go change tires.
That's it. That's all. It happens. Yeah. It happens, y'all. You know. But yeah, thank you again. What was your name?
Corey Pratt.
Corey Pratt. How can we find you on Instagram or social media or all that?
Shitbox Sliders on Instagram, and Corey Pratt on Facebook.
All right, tight, dude. I'm Avery. I'm Gladiator Fabrication 440 on IG. On Facebook, it's just Avery space GR, and I'm tagged in all of this stuff too, dude.
Perfect.
This is my dude Dalton. Fantastic. Thank you for the camera work, brother.
Thank you, brother. You did awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll be walking around, bro. Thank you.
Man.
This
Thank
was
you.
sick.
Yeah,
This
thanks,
was
man.
sick. Thank you. Tight.